Okay, so the last two problems we're actually going to do together are 9 and 10. You probably see that there's also an 11 and 12 on my screen, but just based on the fact that all these other problems have taken longer than what we did in 9-4 and 9-3, I just want to respect your time. So we are not going to do 11 and 12 together. I feel like after 10 examples, you probably get it. I will still ask you on your worksheet to do all 12 because it's great practice for you, but just to save you about 10 minutes of watching videos, we will skip 11 and 12 together. So 9 and 10 on our notes here. Let's do our first step, which as usual we need to get it equal to 0, so we'll subtract 8 from both sides. So we have 10m squared minus 6m minus 8 equals 0. Our quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so we want to solve for x, or in this case m. Our a value here is 10, our b value here is negative 6, and our c value here is negative 8. So we will just plug all those in here. So we have x equals negative 6, negative b, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. These numbers are going to be bigger than we're used to, but that's okay. We can do it. I believe in us. We need to activate our brains during this time. Okay, so let's start on our square root first. The square root of negative 6 squared is 36 minus 4 times 10 is negative 40. Negative 40 times negative 8. 320. So 36 plus 320 is what's inside of our square root because a negative times a negative is a positive. So we get x equals negative 6 is just 6 plus or minus the square root of 356 all over 20 because 2 times 10 is 20. My goodness, 356. We want to see if there's a perfect square in there. 4 times 89. There we go. Okay, so 4 times 89. Let's see if 89 has any perfect squares in there. Not going to be divisible by 4, by 9, I don't think so. 16, no. 25, definitely not. 36, no. No, so we're not going to find a perfect square in here, right? Because I'm more than halfway to 89. So that's all that we can simplify then. So we have the square root of 4 times the square root of 89. The square root of 4 is 2. So we have x equals 6 plus or minus 2 square root of 89 all over 20. Now here's where things get interesting. Do you see how the 6, the 2, and the 20 are all even numbers? We can divide all of those by 2. So that's what we want to do to solve this final problem. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So our answer here is x equals 3 plus the square root of 89 because 1 times anything is the other number. And also, I don't need to write x again, sorry. Also 3 minus the square root of 89 over 10. So that's how we do problem number 9. Again, what we're learning today relies heavily on what we've learned throughout this distance learning experience. So please let me know if you're struggling simplifying your radicals. I would love to help you in any way that I can. Okay, and I am like out of room. I've used like all my room here, but problem number 10, I'm just going to do way off to the side here. Negative 4b squared equals negative 100. I bet you could tell me all the steps here. So I'm going to pretend like you're telling me the steps. Yes, the first step is to add 100 to both sides because we want it to be set equal to 0. So we get, sorry, this is like popping up, negative 4b squared plus 100 equals 0. Now we want to write our quadratic formula for ourselves. Negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. A here is negative 4. B here also does not exist, and C is 100. So we'll start plugging them in. X equals negative 0 plus or minus the square root of 0 squared minus 4 times negative 4 times 100. Oh my goodness, that's going to be a large number. All over 2 times negative 4. Okay. Our zeros don't matter, so we just have x equals plus or minus the square root of negative 4 times negative 4 is a positive 16. 16 times 100 is 1,600 all over negative 8. Now I'm sure you really want to divide 1,600 by negative 8, but the first thing we need to do is simplify the square root of 1,600, which is 40. That's a perfect square. So x equals plus or minus 40 divided by negative 8. I'm going to break that into 2 before I simplify. So we get x equals 40 divided by negative 8, and x equals negative 40 divided by negative 8. Now we can simplify both of these. 40 divided by 8 is 5 when they're both positive. So 40 divided by negative 8 is negative 5. Negative 40 divided by negative 8 is positive 5. So all of this work got us the answer of 5 and negative 5. I wanted to finish up on a nice one, so that way you're not overwhelmed. Okay? So that's where we're going to stop for our notes for this section 9.6. We are going to skip 11 and 12 in our notes, like I said, just to respect your time. But we have covered now all of the methods we're going to learn in Algebra 1 to solve a quadratic equation. Your assignment for this section is just like it has been before. You're first going to do this worksheet, and if you even if you have a printer, honestly, you might want to do this on a separate sheet of paper just so you have enough room, because as you saw with my notes, I definitely did not have enough room. So I do apologize about that. But you might just want to do this on a separate sheet of paper. I do really ask that you try to make your work as neat as possible so I can figure out what's going on. That will really, really help me if you can make your work neat. So you're going to work on this assignment just like usual. You're going to take a picture of your work and submit it. I would also like you to take a picture of your notes and submit those as well. That way I know you watch these videos along with me. And then you also have a Pearson Realize assignment on the quadratic formula. It's 9.6. I don't remember the number that goes along with it. So yeah, those are your assignments for the 9.6 section. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. I've had very few of you reach out to me recently. So please remember that I am here for you. I would love to help you. Please let me know how I can assist you as we're moving through this. So feel free to email me. If you email me, just make sure you copy your parents on the email. That way I can respond as soon as possible and not have to look up their email address. All right, guys, thank you for watching these videos. If you stuck around through all of these, I appreciate you. Have a good day.